Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever in the world you may be joining us from today. My name is Francesco Del Carpio, and I am the CFAL York Operations Coordinator. I would like to officially open the sixth session of the Student Nurses Voices Speaker Series, Student Nurses Voices from Southern Europe. This series is being presented in partnership with the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health and sponsored by the Integrative Nurse Coach Academy, the Global Academy of Holistic Nursing, and the Commonwealth Nurses and Midwives Foundation. I would like to begin today with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge and recognize that many Indigenous nations have long-standing relationships with the territory upon which our campuses are located that precede the establishment of York University. The area is known as Takaranto and has been caretaken by the Anishinaabe Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat. It is now home to many First Nation, Inuit, and Métis communities. We acknowledge the current treaty holders, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. The territory is subject to the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement to peaceably share and care for the Great Lakes region. As this is an online event, our participants may be joining from various locations, so I strongly encourage you to learn about the traditional land upon which you are located. With this, I welcome our moderators, our speakers, and our participants from around the world. Welcome to our webinar. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our moderators today, Dr. Diva Marie Beck and Dr. Maria Teresa Ortez Panesales from the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health. For the sake of time, her full bio and the bios of all of today's speakers will be posted in the chat. Drs. Beck and Panesales, thank you very much for moderating today's session and for all of your work putting this session and series together. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Francesco, and welcome to all of you, all of the speakers, professors, students, and also to everyone who's watching and to people who will be watching this recording later. Welcome, Tess. We like to open with Tess's wonderful poem that she was inspired to write when we started this campaign, this Nurses Voices, Student Nurses Voices campaign in 2023. So let's start. Tess, would you like to speak before you bring your PowerPoint?
Sure, and welcome everyone, wherever you are, different parts of the world. But I know we have, our focus is with our European friends in there and colleagues. Thank you so much for having us, and we're really truly excited with hearing your voices, which is the main core of the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health, and that also of Unitary CFAL.
Just give me 1 second and I'll share the screen.
The healers. Though it hurts to see the suffering, our patients, our communities, our world, to be a witness where care cannot be reached, where care cannot be given, where care is a very high price to pay. To hold the hands when life slips, when the newborn drifts, when honor and values are robbed, when our own identity is such that is left unknown. The humanness of being a nurse is more than what is visible. It is what is within. One who longs for a just world, for peace in the midst of suffering, or the moment of fleeting joy. one who dares to fight to hold hands with you, with everyone, as we too are your partners. We too are part of that circle. We too are healers in building a better world.
Thank you, Tess. Would you like to say anything else at this stage?
Yes, that's actually, the poem when it was written, and up to now, it's much more compelling.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
And we all are healers here, and that's
Yes,
why we want to listen to everyone's voices.
indeed. Indeed. Thank you, Tess. Tess is at work and she's going to be in and out. And as we proceed, I think you're staying on. And Tess, you got the message about Michelle. Yes. Okay, good. All right. Well, now it is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce one of Nye's oldest friends, actually, one of the people who helped establish Nye and Nye's work in the early 2000s. I first met this man in 1999, and he has worked. He is our distinguished elder. He has worked in the UN NGO world for more than 5 decades. He is a distinguished elder. And we've asked this man, Mr. Ritchie, Cyril Ritchie, to speak for 5 minutes about the value of the United Nations non-governmental organization world, especially in the context of what we're doing with the Nightingale Initiative, why student nurses' voices are so important in this context. Cyril, it is a pleasure and an honor to introduce you, my friend.
Thank you, Eva. I'm quite honored to be elevated to be an elder from now on. And I probably am a few years older than most people on this call. So I, as you say, have been around in the UN world and the non-governmental world for many decades. I deal very much with the conference of NGOs that relate to the United Nations through ECOSOC, the Economic and Social Council. And NIE International itself has consultative status with that Economic and Social Council, which is the legal channel through which the UN can deal with the non-governmental world. Well, what's most interesting is that ECOSOC, the Economic and Social Council, is one of 50 different entities within the entire United Nations system. And although on the TV or in press or in social media, when people talk about the UN, they tend to focus on the Security Council because that's the major political arm. And of course, these days they focus on the malfunctioning of the Security Council, whose prime job is to maintain peace and ensure independence of nations. And of course, those valid and valuable principles are being contradicted at this very moment. But throughout the UN system, which includes bodies like the World Health Organization and UNESCO and the International Civil Aviation Organization and the World Meteorological Organization and 40 or 50 more, the daily work done by the UN system is quite astonishing. First of all, the whole system sets international standards to which governments should then adhere because it is they who adopt the standards. That's conventions and treaties and multilateral agreements and covenants. But in practical terms, throughout the UN system, there are bodies that are protecting individuals, feeding individuals, giving health services and more to millions of refugees and migrants and children and disabled persons. And that's not given enough attention in the world. The UN also runs innumerable peacekeeping operations, which means conflict prevention, conflict limiting, and conflict ending. And they are all over the world too. And the UN works with non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, which are so diverse. NI has a particular role naturally with the World Health Organization, which is itself, like many parts of the UN system, under attack at this moment by some governments, including cutting of funding, which is a tragedy. Because, you know, when funding is cut, it isn't bureaucrats that are the first people affected, except in their salaries. It's the women in hospitals, it's the children in schools, where the structures are no longer financed, and where, indeed, at this very moment, because of those financial cuts, women are dying for the absence of medical care, indeed, in some cases, the absence of any structure because of the absence of funding. So the civil society is a very strong voice within the UN system to call attention to these very bad errors being made by some governments, and to plead for paying attention to the least advantaged and the most vulnerable. We work in now with several parts of the UN system, but I want particularly to mention UNITAR, the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, which has its headquarters in Geneva, and which is the overall, might I say, patron for this whole enterprise that we're engaged in at the moment, because it has a number of collaborating bodies, of which York University is happily one and has worked so closely with us since the beginning. So I want to pay tribute to them and to the UNITAR leadership, which has embraced the goals of NI and is making it possible for us to conduct first the nurses speakers and now the student nurses speakers. So we need to give our support to the UN. It needs it more than ever with the threats being posed to it. And now we'll continue working with many colleagues in civil society to achieve the overall goals of the UN, which are human values that we share. And I encourage you, young students that we're going to hear in a moment, to pay attention to the UN throughout your life, because we need it more than ever. Thank you, Deva, for asking me to say these few words. You're muted, I think.
Thank you so much, Cyril. It was so enlightening for us, to be able to hear you speak, and the impact also that nurses brings into play as we work together in this effort to improve the world, the healthcare that is much needed in the world. So, did we lost Diva? All right.
Go ahead, Tess. You're the
Yes,
introducer of your friends in Malta.
Yeah, thank you. So now it is my great honor to be able to come back to Malta, via via the video, of course, right now. And of course, what we have right now is a group of students from Malta, and we will hear also from their leaders, especially Michelle, after we hear from Sarah, who is one of our student speaker for Malta. So we will start with our first speaker, student speaker, Matthew. We'll have Sharon.
Start with Sharon, Dr. Sharon.
Sharon. Okay. So thank you so much, Diva, for that. So as we start with Sharon, let me just go ahead with this. So just bear with me just a few minutes. So, Sharon, yeah, the first time I met Sharon was I was working out there too, likewise Michelle. So Dr. Sharon Martinelli is a lecturer in the Department of Nursing at the University of Malta's Faculty of Health Sciences. Now I give the floor to Dr. Sharon Martinelli to introduce the rest of the students.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Tess. Thank you, Deva, for this invitation. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm proud to represent the Department of Nursing within the Faculty of Health Sciences and the University of Malta, which is the country's leading higher institution, higher education. Malta, for people who might not know where Malta is the center of the Mediterranean, and it is often called the nurse of the Mediterranean, and has a rich history of care and compassion, values that are at the heart of our nursing programs. Amongst other responsibilities, my role within the department, together with my colleague, Dr. Michelle Camilleri, both seasoned nurses and qualified counselors, is to focus on the personal professional growth of our nursing students, developing not just skilled nurses, but reflective and compassionate individuals. We believe that nurturing the person behind the professional is key to shaping confident, empathic, and impactful practitioners. So through creativity, reflexivity, and self-awareness, we aim to empower nurses to find their voice and agency, to care, lead, and advocate for meaningful change. So it's my pleasure to introduce our first student representative, Matthew Herrera. Originally from Melbourne, Australia, Matthew moved to Malta 3 years ago to reconnect with his family roots. His journey into nursing began after a career in marketing and finance, driven by a deep compassion and passion for human connection, well-being, and personal growth. Matthew's strong interpersonal skills and enthusiasm make him a vital link between peers and staff. He is also a volunteer in the Emergency Response and Rescue Corps, which he does. He practices his skills in the real-world setting, connecting with diverse communities. A committed lifelong learner student, brings compassion, curiosity, and courage. He values the importance of student voices in shaping the educational experience and consistently contributes throughout meaningful perspectives to the conversation. Matthew truly embodies the values we strive to cultivate: compassion, curiosity, and the courage to lead with heart. So let us welcome Matthew.
Thank you, Sharon, for that very kind introduction. Good day to everyone joining us from Europe and around the world. My name is Matthew Hurrell, and I'm in my third and final year of the Bachelor of Science in Nursing at the University of Malta. I'd like to thank Sharon and Michelle for inviting me to speak today, and the Student Nurses Voices Speaker Series for the opportunity to share my journey, experiences, and perspective in nursing with you all today. I came to nursing a bit later than many of my colleagues, having originally chosen to pursue a career in finance straight after high school. This was despite always having an interest in health and biology, plus a familiarity with healthcare, thanks to my mum, who has always worked in healthcare administration. My interest in this field ignited into a passion during the COVID-19 pandemic, when the world's attention was turned upon the vital and compassionate work that nurses do, and I learned more about the rather nuanced role that nurses have among healthcare professionals. I decided to take the plunge. Moving to another country is difficult. Moving to another country and studying there, well, many people couldn't decide if I was brave or crazy, but I am, driven to succeed and have been taking every opportunity I can to learn and become the best nurse I can be. Being born in Melbourne, Australia, I had grown up hearing stories about the homeland of my mother's parents, which fostered in me a wish to live there for a time. While the decision to live and study nursing in Malta did come with its challenges, it is a decision I have not regretted for a single day, and one that has allowed me to grow, learn, and participate in activities and programs I would never have dreamt of. I not only consider myself fortunate to be studying nursing in the Maltese Islands, but am proud to be studying in the place that, as Sharon mentioned, was dubbed by poets as the nurse or the hospital of the Mediterranean during the First World War, and a place that Florence Nightingale herself had visited personally on a couple of occasions. I think Florence would be impressed with how nursing as a profession is developing and excited about its direction in the years to come. I say profession because nursing is much more than simply a job. It requires integrity, critical thinking, and personal engagement on a much higher level. As the members of the multidisciplinary team who log the most hours at the patient's bedside, nurses are in a prime position to both develop more advanced technical skills and other skills which enhance the patient experience, becoming leaders in patient management and guiding the care of patients in a way other professionals do not. Currently, I perceive nurses as being the nexus of healthcare professionals, the ones which bind all the varied roles of other healthcare workers together. If the multidisciplinary team was a mosaic, nurses would be the mortar, keeping everything in its place and ensuring that all the gaps are filled and nothing gets lost between them. What does the future of nursing look like to me? It looks like continuing development and specialization as nurses learn and develop new ways to address the needs of patients. Further study and professional development is vital in this, and learning new ways and more advanced interventions and techniques which ease the flow of healthcare systems globally and support the multidisciplinary team. I also see more men joining the profession as we continue to show the role of nurse for what it is truly and what it is becoming, and that both men and women can possess the disposition necessary to provide education on prevention to the community and care to the ill and dying, shedding the old stereotypes that formed even before the time of the lady with the lamp. With the digital age well and truly upon us, the presence of technologies, social media, and AI in our homes and workplaces is steadily increasing. These advancements offer support in our work, making all manner of tasks cleaner, safer, more efficient, and more engaging. However, they introduce the risk of becoming disconnected with our patients and colleagues. During this time and those to come, I believe nurses will work to preserve the human element of healthcare, an ear with which to listen, the presence felt in eye contact, and the fundamental human touch. I think that nurses will continue to model leadership around the world by providing high-quality care, working with respect, accountability, and moral sensitivity, advocating for the human beings whose care we have been charged with. Thank you all for listening, and I'll now hand you back to Sharon.
Thank you, Matthew, for such an inspiring and reflective contribution. I had no doubt. Now it's my pleasure to introduce another remarkable and inspiring third-year student named Sarah Pitcher, whose journey into healthcare is also rooted in a rich and diverse professional background. Before entering the world of nursing, Sarah spent nearly a decade in adult education. She worked as an English teacher for foreign language, trainer and learning support educator, roles that honed her exceptional communication and leadership skills. These qualities are now integral in her nursing practice. Sarah has a natural ability to advocate, educate, and connect with others, a gift she seamlessly brings into the classroom and clinical settings, where she is deeply passionate about delivering empathic, person-centered care. As a student nurse, Sarah is committed to championing the patient voice, ensuring that those in her care feel seen, heard, and fully supported. Her unique combination of educational and healthcare experiences makes her a reflective, thoughtful, and impactful presence in the nursing field. Please join me in welcoming Sarah to this forum.
Hello, thank you very much, Sharon. My name is Sarah Pitcher, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a panelist today. It is truly an honor to be here and to be able to share my perspectives on nursing with you. I'm a third-year mature nursing student at the University of Malta. Studying as an older student has taught me so much about interpersonal skills and learning how to adapt to a different lifestyle, learning about newer, younger perspectives, and enhancing my skills in teamwork with a variety of people from all walks of life. As Sharon said, prior to this, I was an English teacher for nearly 10 years, preparing foreign students for their Cambridge English exams. So nursing was quite a leap and a big career change. What initially motivated me to take the plunge was being a patient myself, several times, even in the ICU. Understanding that these people, the doctors, the nurses, mostly the nurses, were here to help me heal during what was the worst time of my life. And through this, caring for people during the worst time of their lives and providing them with holistic support became my passion. Learning how to provide support did not come easily, however. Unfortunately, as students, especially during our first and second clinicals, we often feel unequipped to provide support to people who are suffering. We feel as though our skills are still underdeveloped. We may lack the dexterity to perform certain tasks, and we may not even be allowed to intervene in certain situations. However, these are things that come with time and practice. Providing support is so much more than delivering medication. Support can be sitting with a patient who's crying alone in their bed, letting them know that in this white clinical environment, there is someone who listens to them. Supporting a patient, especially in our increasingly multicultural environment, where there can be, people from all over the world, can mean being mindful to the patient's customs, simply trying to understand the most basic human needs, despite the language barrier, doing something as simple as learning a greeting in their language, making them feel more at home. It can even be giving a hot drink to the relative who's been sitting next to their unconscious loved one for days on end, and providing a space for them to voice the fears that they've been scared to voice themselves. Ours is a profession which brings together scientific knowledge and round-the-clock compassion. Compassion doesn't always come easily. Again, as students, we are often uncertain how to react to suffering. We are uncomfortable with it. We really don't know what to say because we can't make it all go away for them. Even as we become more experienced with seeing the suffering, we become tired, we can get burned out, we care for others, and we sometimes forget to care for ourselves. Therefore, it's really important to show compassion and understanding, not only to our patients, but also to each other as colleagues and to ourselves. The saying goes that we cannot give out of an empty cup. And I feel this is very true for nursing. It is so important for us to show compassion to ourselves, allow ourselves time to reflect on what keeps us going, what keeps us motivated to care. Reflecting, which is a very important and personal process, also allows us to assess our own needs. What do I need to do to relax after today's shift? Why do I feel like I could have done better? Do I need to swallow my pride and ask for guidance? We can seek support from those who are more experienced than us, and there is always someone who is ready to offer a helping hand. To new grad students, especially. We need to give ourselves time to enjoy our hobbies, our families, our friends, so we can come back stronger and continue to do what we do best, which is to care. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah, for joining and for sharing such an evocative reflection. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matthew and Sarah. So as we move forward, all the enlightenment they provided us is really such a perspective from our end now, as I would say, like the nurses we are, and during that period, it's so amazing to hear a resonance of that passion. So as we move forward, I also would like to hear from Dr. Michelle Camilleri. Is Michelle in now?
Tess, Michelle won't be joining. She's here, but she won't be joining. She won't be speaking. So we just can move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So we just would like to acknowledge Michelle as well, her presence with us today. As we move forward, we want to go ahead and welcome another set of our, um, of our guests, and this is led by Professor Zeliha Tulek. So Dr. Tulek is has served as a faculty member in Florence Nightingale. Okay, just hold on. Okay, just a minute. From Florence Nightingale Faculty of Nursing in Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul University, yes, and Cerrahpasa since 1995. Dr. Tulek also serves as a Turkish language advisor for the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health. Dr. Tulek?
Thank you very much. Nice for this introduction. Before first of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Diva for such a nice organization. It is really very nice. Last year, I attended that meeting myself. This year with my students, which is really very fruitful meeting. I'd like to, before introducing my students, I'd like to give some very short, very brief explanation about my school. Coincidentally, I have seen an international collaborator here in this meeting from very past. Ananda Fernandes from Coimbra University, which in the past we were partner universities. And I wish that kind of meetings would be an opportunity to that kind of exchanging information and experiences between international partners. Florence Nightingale Faculty of Nursing is the second university-level nursing school in Turkey. It offers nursing programs at bachelor's degree, master's degree, and also PhD levels. It is the first nursing school to become a faculty from a university college, and one of the few schools that has trained faculty members for many nurses schools around our country. Our school is one of the few schools in Turkey that can offer PhD education in subspecialties, for instance, in medical nursing. We also provide a bachelor's program in English. It is very recent since it is for a few years, and we are part of affiliated to a research oriented university, and one of the most distinguished nursing schools in Turkey with its academic staff. I'd like to invite all of you to our beautiful city and also to our faculty. I'm trying to stop my sharing excuse me, just a second, please. I will give I will introduce my students. Today I will join with two of our PhD students. The first one is Ecem Çolak. She graduated from our school, Florence Nightingale Faculty of Nursing, in 4 years before. After graduation, she worked as a nurse in various departments for 2 years. She completed her master's degree with a study focusing on obesity and blood pressure. For the past year, she has been working as a research assistant at our at our faculty, Istanbul University-Cerrahpasa, Florence Nightingale Faculty of Nursing. She is also pursuing her PhD in our department, and her academic interests focus on metabolic and chronic diseases. And in her speech, she will mention about how to become a nurse, nursing education in Turkey, and also she will say something about being a specialist nurse in our country. Please, Ecem, you can start.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Ecem Çolak, and I'm truly honored to be part of this meaningful session. To briefly introduce myself, I am a research assistant at Istanbul University-Cerrahpasa Florence Nightingale Faculty of Nursing and a PhD student in medical nursing. Today, I will share information about how to become a nurse in Turkey. Following that, my dear colleague Hande will talk about her experiences about working as a specialist nurse. In our country, to become a nurse, it is required to complete a bachelor's degree. This education is offered through faculties of health sciences or faculties of nursing affiliated with universities and typically lasts for 4 years. During this education period, students attend both theoretical courses and practical training through clinical placements, laboratory work, and internship. Upon graduation, individuals are awarded the title of nurse and are eligible to work in public, private, or university hospitals. For those who wish to specialize further in the field of nursing, master's and doctoral programs are also available. These advanced programs not only support academic development but also enable nurses to gain deeper expertise in their chosen area of practice. There are 2 ways to become a specialist nurse in Turkey: clinical path and academic path. For academic specialization, nurses must complete a thesis-based master's degree in the relevant field after receiving their bachelor's degree. In order to apply for master's programs, candidates must achieve a certain score on the GRE and foreign language exam. Thesis-based master's programs are usually offered in areas such as medical nursing, surgical nursing, psychiatric nursing, women's health nursing, and pediatric nursing. Those who successfully complete the academic pathway are awarded a Master of Science in Nursing degree. This degree increases your chances of being appointed to a managerial position in the clinic. Another career pathway, the advanced practice or clinical specialist nurse system, has not yet been fully established in our country. Clinical specialization is based on the certification programs. In order to receive a certificate, nurses working in the relevant clinic must attend 2 or 3 months of theoretic and practical training. However, a clear and standard job description has not yet been fully established, and also the number of areas recognized by the Ministry of Health is very limited. Although there is no official and standardized job description in practice, there are certain roles and responsibilities expected from specialist nurses. This includes providing care with advanced clinical knowledge within their area of expertise, offering education and consultation to colleagues, taking on leadership roles in patient care, and promoting the implementation of evidence-based practices and research. However, these responsibilities and authorities may vary from one institution to another, and in some cases, they may not be defined at all. Both clinical and academic specialist nurses can work in public hospitals, university hospitals, and private healthcare institutions. However, specialist training may not always provide the opportunities the person expects, and the person may be employed in a clinic outside the field in which they specialize. This situation not only creates disappointment in the person, but also results in the patient not benefiting from the educational investment made by the nurse. A system in which performance and education are valued has not yet been established in nursing in our country. This situation causes new graduates to lose their motivation to advance their careers in a short time. One of the key disadvantages they face is the lack of recognition of their specialization level within institutional performance evaluation systems. Although they often take on additional responsibilities such as education, consultation, and research, these roles are typically not considered when their salaries are paid. In conclusion, specialist nursing in Turkey is a field that still faces significant structural shortcomings. To strengthen this process, it is essential to establish legally defined job descriptions for specialist nurses, to create dedicated positions within healthcare institutions, and to improve their professional rights working conditions. I have tried to provide a general overview of nursing education and a clear need for establishing a better system for clinical specialization in Turkey. Thank you all very much for your attention. Now, my dear friend Hande will share her experience as a specialist nurse.
Thank you very much, Ecem. Now, Hande Bulut Canbaz will speak. She is another PhD student. She graduated from School of Nursing at Koç University about 11 years ago. She completed her master's degree with a thesis on treatment satisfaction in individuals with diabetes. After her graduation, she worked in general intensive care unit in a private hospital for 3 years, then continued her career for nearly 6 years as a diabetes nurse at the same hospital. For the past 2 years, she has been working as a lecturer and is currently pursuing a PhD in our department again. Her academic interests focus on diabetes, cognitive impairment, and metabolic and chronic diseases. During her speech, she will share her personal experience as a specialist nurse.
Thank you, my dear professor. Hello, everyone. I am very happy to be here with you today. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to speak this important session. Let me quickly tell about myself. I worked as a nurse in a university hospital for about 10 years. Today, I want to talk about how Turkey is changing because of its growing and aging population, how these changes affect the healthcare system, and I will also speak about my personal experience regarding clinical specialization. First, I would like to talk about Turkey's demographic transformation. As of 2023, our population has exceeded 87 million. By 2050, it's expected that this number will increase 91 million. Beyond this increase, there is much deeper change occurring in the demographic structure of our country. While the proportion of the young population still remains high, the proportion of the elderly population is increasing at a rapid pace. 5 years ago, the percentage of the elderly people in our country was 9%. Today, about 12% of the population is made up people aged 65 and older. This rate not only indicates the increase the elderly populations, but also reflect a profound transformation in our country's healthcare, economy, and the social structure. This is referred to as a demographic transformation. As you know, demographic transformation refers to the transition of society from high birth and death rates to low birth and death rates. This period, shaped by dynamics such as modernization, industrialization, and urbanization, goes through similar stage in all society, but the time and the phase are different for each country. Turkey experiences this period in a much shorter time frame compared to developed countries. Over the past 25 years, we have entered a new era characterized by noticeable decline in birth and death rates. This rapid transformation brings many challenges for the healthcare system. One of the most prominent challenges is in the increase of chronic disease. With the rise in elderly population, non-communicable chronic disease such as diabetes, hypertension, dementia, and osteoporosis have become more prevalent in society. About 70% of deaths in Turkey were due to this disease. In other words, nearly 7 of every 10 deaths are caused by chronic disease. This places significant responsibility on healthcare professionals. Management of chronic disease has now become one of the top priorities on the healthcare system. In this context, the role of specialist nurse is critically important. Combating chronic disease requires teamwork, but at the core of this team are nurses. Nurses actively practice in many stages such as reducing risk factors, early diagnosis, monitoring treatment, and preventing complication. Furthermore, nurses not only provide clinical care, but also serve as effective guides, helping patients adopt a healthy lifestyle, adhere to treatment, and develop coping skills to manage their illnesses. In our country, there are 362 nurses and midwives per 100,000 people, and the nurse-to-patients ratio is quite low compared to developed countries, which will pose a challenge for us during this demographic transformation progress. In the second part in my speech, I would like to share my clinical experiences and the contribution of certificate program and graduate program on my clinical practice. I worked as a diabetes special nurse at a university hospital for about 7 years. Before this, I completed my master education. I also participate in a diabetes nursing certification program. Diabetes nursing is one of the few areas recognized as a field of expertise by the Ministry of Health in our country. Certificate programs allow nurses to improve their knowledge and skills in a specific field. These programs are carried out at training centers authorized by the Ministry of Health. Certificate programs generally last about 1 or 2 months and combine the theoretical knowledge and the clinical practice. To practice these programs, nurses are typically required to have last 3 years of clinical experiences in the relevant field and nursing baccalaureate degree. Participants who complete the training and pass the exam at the end of the program are awarded a certificate approved by Ministry of Health. These certificates enhance nurses' professional qualification and contribute their specialists in specific clinical area. My experiences as a diabetes nurse has provided me valuable knowledge both in my profession and in managing chronic disease. As a special nurse, I view patients not only part of the treatment process, but also as the individuals who need to become active managers of their own health. In conditions like diabetes, which is a lifelong disease affecting every aspect of daily life, it is crucial for patients to develop self-care skills. In processes like nutrition, physical activity, and treatment adherence, we nurses are the healthcare professionals patients communicate with most closely. I would like to mention my observation for special nursing in Turkey. The trust relationship that a nurse establishes with the patient can sometimes be more effective than the most advanced treatment plan. When the patients feel that they have a healthcare professional who listens to, understand, and support them, their participation and motivation in treatment process and their ability to self-management improve. Nurses also play a crucial role, active role in preventing complication. Education patients about long-term complication of diabetes, such as retinopathy, nephropathy, and neuropathy, can often change the course of the disease.
Excuse me, Hande, please conclude quickly.
Okay. Another important contribution we make is our ability to consider the emotional and psychological aspect of the patient. Therefore, I believe that effective management of chronic disease not only possible through medication and devices, but also through healthcare professionals who engage the patient, will alongside them and provide reassurance. And perhaps it's only nurses who within the entire healthcare team are able to contribute and manage all this process. Thank you all for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Hande. Thank you so much to the faculty, Florence Nightingale Faculty of Nursing students and Professor Dr. Tulek. It has been a pleasure to be connected with the Turkish nursing culture for quite a long time. And I'm sure that Florence Nightingale would be very proud of you. She was indeed in Constantinople, starting nursing in Turkey. Thank you so much. Now, it is my pleasure to be introducing Dr. Ananda Fernandes. She is director of the WHO Collaborating Center for Nursing Practice and Research and a professor in the doctoral program at the School of Nursing in Coimbra, Portugal. Dr. Fernandes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Deva, for inviting us to participate in this webinar and getting to know this network a little better. The Nursing School of Coimbra is located in the center of Portugal. The School of Nursing was created in 1881, first as a private school, and 30 years later as a public school. Our School of Nursing is therefore a public school funded by the government. It has more than 1,500 students between bachelor students, master students, and doctoral students, and also postgraduate courses of different nature. We also have over 100 teachers, and we count, of course, on the nurses where our students do their clinical placements. We count on them also to deliver the best teaching possible for our students. We have, our school has the only national research center, which is funded by the government. And we are also, as Dr. Deva has already mentioned, we are a WHO Collaborating Center for Nursing Practice and Research. My feeling is more than ever in a world where we thought many values were secured and were universal, and we see that that is not so, that we have to keep on defending many of the conquests that we thought were already there forever. We know that diseases like infectious diseases, for instance, that were already controlled. We know that we risk now having new pandemics, and we also risk to have these old diseases again because of lack of vaccination, for instance. So we see that there's a fought back on many of the health issues that we had already thought that were over. So more than ever, it is my feeling that we need to have the young generation of nurses committed to the values of solidarity, of equity, of justice. And so it's my very, very pleasure to introduce two of our students who have, over their paths, shown that they are indeed committed to these values. So the first one is Francisco Ferraz. Well, I will present him first, and then later the other student. So Francisco is a nursing student of the 4th year at the Nursing School of Coimbra. He's president of the European Nursing Students Association, and he's a member of the WHO European Regions Youth for Health Network. Francisco is also a student member of the Pedagogical Council in our nursing school. And at the ENSA, the European Nursing Students Association, he's also research coordinator. He is vice president of the General Assembly of the Nursing School Students Association, or he was for a period. And he has represented the European Nursing Students Association in several events such as the Force of the Future, Disrupt Quality of Care Hackathon, Next Generation Public Health of Today and Tomorrow. He is an ambassador and organizing committee of the first Summer University, and he has attended a WHO Europe Regional Committee meeting, the 74th meeting. And he has already, as a nursing student, participated in research teams, and he's involved in also in presenting scientific papers and posters in international conferences. So we are looking forward to hearing Francisco and what he has to share with us regarding nursing and nurses and the future. Welcome, Francisco.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Professor Ananda, for your presentation. I hope you can all hear me well. I guess so. So for me, firstly, I want to thank Nightingale Initiative for Global Health and CIFAL York Hub at York University for this amazing initiative. And then I want to thank Professor Ananda for the invitation. So, as Professor Ananda said, my name is Francisco. I'm a nursing student from Portugal and studying the Nursing School of Coimbra, currently on my final and 4th year of my bachelor's degree in nursing. And also, I'm the president of the European Nursing Students Association, to easily pronounce ENSA in my speech. So today I will share with you, hopefully, with some of my personal and professional experiences. So look back into my first year. I choose nursing. When I choose nursing, I choose it with my heart. I didn't know everything it would involve, but I knew one thing: I wanted to care and to show up for people in their most vulnerable moments, not with all the answers, but with presence, with respect and humanity. As I progressed my studies, I realized something: caring alone is not enough. We must also raise our voices, take part in decisions, and lead with purpose as nursing students. That's how I found Nursing Students Association in my university, where Francisca is the president right now, and then I found ENSA, a space where students from all over Europe can come together, not just to share experiences, but to act, to represent, and to shape our future. This future, because the truth is the future in nursing is on us. That's what I believe, and that's what ENSA believes as well. The future of nursing is on us. The nursing students is on our shoulders, in our hands, in our willingness to lead the change that we want to see. I have noticed that leadership also doesn't happen in isolation. And one of the biggest challenges I've seen and felt is the sense sometimes of disconnection. Sometimes, even as students, we don't feel united. We go to the wards placements, for example, and we see nurses that are not united. They are not all together. In ENSA, I have seen that we are from different countries, facing different realities, and we often we are not included in the decisions that affect our education and our future. And with that makes it harder to believe that we can make a difference. But we can, if we are all together. As I said before, we are if we share not only our struggles but as well our solutions. if we show up not only for patients, but for one another, and if we create opportunities, safe spaces, and platforms where students are not just listened, but trusted, as this platform. That's why I believe personally that nursing students must be involved in shaping education, as we are responsible for our learning. So why are we often excluded from designing it? I read WHO Global Strategic Direction for Nursing and Midwifery, and this document outlines four urgent pillars: education, jobs, leadership, and service delivery. Let me reflect on them through my personal lens. Education is not about, it's about how we are shaped as professionals and as people. We need programs that are truly competency based and integrate technology without losing the human touch that characterize all the nurses, sorry, and prepare us not for just for today's system, but for the one that we must help build for tomorrow. Jobs. We talk about shortages, but many students graduate into systems that don't have space for them. We have met students who migrate for not for the adventure, but because their countries don't invest in them. We must reframe job creation as a commitment to health equity, local and globally. Leadership is where my personal and professional selves merge. In ENSA, I have learned that leadership is not about visibility, it's about responsibility. It's about standing up when it's hard, sitting down to listen when it matters, and lifting others as we rise. We don't need to embed this mindset in every level of nursing education, because leadership is not a final destination, it must be our daily practice. And to conclude service delivery, we have seen how nurses and nursing students are often limited in their scope of practice, underpaid, overworked, and underrepresented. So let's move towards education systems that are co-created, where students and educators work side by side to create programs that respond to reality, to communities, and to the future. And let us never forget the value of mentorship. This is an issue that we advocate in our association, mentorship. I would not be here today without the mentors who saw me, who saw something in me, who challenged me, and who remind me of my worth when I forgot it. Mentorship is how we grow as students and as people. It's the bridge between who we are and who we can become. So what do I see when I think about the future of nursing? You can ask me. I see nurses in leadership roles. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Not just in the hospitals, but in governments, in mysteries, and in global organizations. I see students stepping into these roles, prepared, confident, and supported. I see a profession where no one feels alone, where we lift each other, walk together, and act with shared purpose. Because our future, the future of nursing, of our profession, is not about individuals, it's about our collective effort and leadership. It's about the future. So now I want to invite all of you to follow our work through social media in my association ENSA, and as well in the social media of Nursing School of Coimbra. In ENSA, we have really good initiatives and opportunities for every student, such as Professor Ananda said, presence in WHO regional and global events, ICN events, FNEMA and EFN collaborations, among other European stakeholders and national stakeholders all over Europe. And that's my speech. Thank you once more for this initiative, and thank you once more to Professor Ananda for this invitation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Francisco, for your words. I now have the pleasure of introducing Francisca Lopes. Francisca is a fourth-year student at the Nursing School of Coimbra. She has always been, I suspect, an active participant in many social and training events. Since the first year, She has been a member of the Students' Association, initially in the Center of Training and Culture. And in the second year, she took the role of vice president of the association. And she has performed that until the end of the third year, so 2 years. She's now in her fourth year, and she was elected president of the Students' Association. This allows her to contribute actively for the defense and valorization and valuing of the academic path of students of nursing. And at the same time, since the beginning of the fourth year, she has also been a member of the National Federation of Nursing Student Association, so Portuguese, Federation of Nursing Associations, Students Associations. And there she has performed the functions as member of the board, reinforcing her commitment to improving teaching of nursing at national level. She has an area of preference, which I will not disclose immediately, because she will be telling you about her own preferences and her own discovery of nursing. Thank you, Francisca. We are very proud to have you both here in this panel, and the word is yours now.
Thank you, Professor. I want to say thank you all for the invitation here. My name is Francisca, like Professor says. I'm a nursing student as nursing school of the University of Coimbra. I want to start saying that I really love being a nursing student, and I think this will be really true in the words I would say. I've always enjoyed taking care of the others, but my connection to nursing became stronger when my mother had a surgery that didn't go very well. It was a thought time, and I became her caregiver for a few months. I've helped her with daily tasks, watched her with her deals, both physical and emotional pain. That's when I realized that nursing is not just technical. It's about being present, showing empathy, and standing by someone even when you don't have all the answers. Because really, I didn't have anyone at this time. That experience marked the beginning of my journey in nursing, but along the way, I've kept learning what it really means to care. During clinical placements, I've met patients who left a mark on me because people who, even while suffering, showed strength and humanity. Sometimes just being there, listening, or holding a hand made all the difference. That's when I understood that a nurse's impact goes far beyond what we can see. For a long time, I struggled with my insecurities. I had thoughts about whether I was good enough to face difficult situations. Part of that came from a moment I will never forget in my life. I found a family member who had already passed away. So I felt helpless, like I had failed. That feeling stayed with me, and it took time to rebuild my confidence. And my second and third year was difficult ones because I was really insecurity and okay. But nursing keeps teaching me to see the whole person, body, mind, and soul, and learning to care like that takes time, mistakes and humility. And that's one thing that I'm facing like right now because I'm doing my last internship and it's about communication and how important it is. And I still think that I can see everything in that person. It's like I watch, but I don't see anything. And learning to care like that takes time, and I'm still growing. But today I feel stronger and more sure of who I am and why I choose this path. My biggest support has been my grandmother. Sometimes I feel she celebrates my successes more than I do. And my grandfather has always been an inspiration too. He dreamed of seeing a child or a grandchild go to university, and I'm the first in the family to do it. So I carry his dream with me every step of the way. For a long time, I thought hospital nursing was my biggest passion, and in many ways, it still is. I love it. I did a placement in cardiology, and I felt completely at home. But over time, I've realized that what I truly love is nursing itself. Every area, every story, every patient has something to teach us, and I want to keep learning. One thing that has helped me grow a lot as a student is the representation that professor has told. Like I'm currently president of my school students union and also part of the National Nursing Students Federation in Portugal. Being involved in the student movement has taught me so much about teamwork, about communication, and about what it means to care not just for patients, but for each other. If you ask me what the biggest challenge in healthcare is today, I would say it's the lack of recognition for nurses, mostly in Portugal, but in many places, we are still not fully valued for our knowledge, our skills, and our role in the healthcare system. But I believe we, as students and future nurses, can help change that. And I have 3 steps I would say that it's the most important to do it. The first is sharing our stories like I'm doing right now. When we speak with honesty and passion, we show the world what nursing real means. Second, by getting involved in our schools and community, we can help shape decisions and make sure nursing is as a voice. I think this one is the one I do all my days, like as the president of the Students Association. I fight every day for the values of my students, and I think that's the most important that I do. And the third and the final, by supporting each other, because I think if we support one another, students, nurses, and educators, we build a stronger profession. And I think we have a long way to do in this process. To me, nursing is a profession that can change lives and even the world, one person at a time. I dream of a future where nurses are respected, where our voices are heard, and where we are recognized as leaders in care. Because leadership in nursing isn't about power, it's about compassion, teamwork, and making a difference when it matters most. Thank you all for listening me and to remind me that together we can take nursing to where it truly belongs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Francisca, for your words. Back to you, Dr.
Diva.
Tess?
Dr.
Diva?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm in tears from these presentations. Just how wonderful to envision the future of nursing from these voices and these leaders. Thank you so much. Now it is my pleasure to be introducing Dr. María Jiménez Herrera, who serves as the General Secretary of Spain's Universitat Rovira, Virgili, where she has also served as head of the Department of Nursing from 2012 to 2019, and where she also served as the Dean of the Faculty of Nursing. It is a pleasure. Over to you, Dr. Herrera.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Dr. Deva, Dr. Tess. Thank you for inviting us to have the possibility to share this panel. For our students, it's really very, very big challenge because we are not involved in this kind of things, and I think it's a very nice opportunity. I can present a little my university. We are located in the south of Barcelona. The city is Tarragona. It's a very small city, but we have 4 campuses, and we have a lot of students in undergraduate, in master, and doctoral program. And I think that one of the characteristics of our program is that we have focus in the personal centered care when in our programs, and we have the umbrella of Jan Watson theory, because Jan Watson was our doctoral in our university, and she was with us during one period in some years before. And I think this is really so interesting for us because we go very deep in this theory and another kind of theories that is related with caring. We have some aims that is very important for us give our students, and they will explain much better than me, I'm sure, in this. And it's talking about compassion. We work about moral courage, responsibility, autonomy of the person, and all of this around the cultural competence. I think that this is one of the things that make our university very important in our country. And I have the pleasure to present our students. Today is with us two students. The first student is a master student, is Vanessa Vicente. She's master student. She's a registered nurse. She's working at the hospital, and she's really very interesting in go too deep in human care. And now she's working in this master degree, and the specialized in this masters is go deep in the theories. And I can say that she's like an expert in theories. She knows a lot about this, and she make very nice dissertation about Watson theory. And today she's with us for share her thoughts. And I want to thank you very much to her and her participation. Vanessa, when you want, is your time.
Okay, thank you so much for the introduction, Professor María Jiménez. My name is Vanessa. I'm a registered nurse, and it's a pleasure to be here with all of you, sharing my experience as a nurse. I have always wanted to study nurse since I was a child because I thought that helping people was rewarding. However, when I started my university degree, I realized that nursing was much more than just taking care of sick individuals. Nursing is the art of caring. It's a deep profession that involves providing physical but also emotional care, promoting healthy habits, preventing illnesses, and so on from an holistic perspective through the vital stages of life, including end of life. Regarding my current academic experience, I would say that universities have contributed to the growth of nursing as an independent discipline. Apart from that, the students get values such as teamwork, communicative skills, critical thinking, or ethical considerations that will make them worthwhile healthcare professionals. Nevertheless, although all the improvements done, there is still a lack of coordination between theory and practice. So government should invest more financial funds in clinical simulations in order to get an interrelated learning of the nursing techniques. In addition, there is a shortage of vacancies for studying nursing, despite the huge request of nurses. For that reason, supply and demand should be equally, as a way of preventing a lack of professionals in the near future. Studying nursing is a hard way with plenty of ups and downs, taking into account the versatility of the career by itself. As a result, nursing students must have certain personal qualities like empathy, courage, resilience, and emotional stability. Nursing is a vocational job that has to be chosen by heart. Otherwise, you will suffer from anxiety, depression, or increasingly well-known, the burnout syndrome. Once you get your diploma and start working as a registered nurse, all the advices from the lectures make sense. My recommendation is to enjoy and try the educative process as it will be really useful for your daily work. Changing the subject, the present health system is getting obsolete. Any claims for
Something happened.
Vanessa, you're offline.
Yes, I think so.
Can you hear me?
Vanessa.
Yes.
You know, yes.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that. I was talking alone at home. Sorry. I mean, where is
You can
the
take
last
the last part. The last part.
one? Okay.
Yes.
And changing the subject, I think I was saying, okay, sorry. Changing the subject, the present health system is getting obsolete and it claims for an evolution according to the emergency situation. Ratios nurses patient below the standard, decreasing chronic pathologies due to the aging of population, the brain drain looking for better conditions and economical retributions, the high workload and drug resistance, especially to antibiotics, and the main issues that contribute to the detriment of the quality of care. We have fought really hard for our achievements, and at this point, we cannot give up. As an independent profession, we have to make our voices be heard by putting pressure to politics until they realize about the urge of getting new legislation to solve the actual problem. Nurses are the key role model of caring. Hence, we must disseminate global nursing leadership within the development of specialties and investigations, owing to the fact that nursing is an essential area. At some point of their life, everyone will need to be attended by a nurse, no matter the diagnosis. Nonetheless, the future of nursing is switching as a consequence of technology. artificial intelligence, and telemedicine, which will challenge the adaptability of the profession. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Now I will introduce another student. I think is one of the youngest students in this panel, is Abril Jiménez. She is from the second course in the undergraduate degree. But she's very, this is a very nice person because she is a very fighter person, and she's working for the increase the quality of the studies in nursing in our faculty. She's the delegate for all the students in one of the campus, and I think she will explain why is doing this and in what way she can see the future for the students and the future from the nurses. Thank you. Abril, when you want, is your time.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. As my professor already said, my name is Abril Jiménez, and it's truly an honor to be here with all of you today. As a second-year nursing student in Spain, I've started to understand how deeply meaningful and challenging this profession truly is. For me, the purpose of nursing lies in caring for people when they're the most vulnerable, being a source of comfort, safety, and strength. What motivates me to continue is knowing that even small actions like a reassuring word or listening ear can make a big difference in someone's day. Throughout my academic journey so far, I've gained lots of theoretical knowledge and clinical skills. One of my strengths is my growing confidence in patient care and communication. However, I also recognize some gaps, especially in real-world leadership experience and how to deal with high-pressure situations. I believe bridging these gaps will require more hands-on learning and mentorship, and hopefully, as I continue my studies, I'll get more of that exposure. When I reflect on my own process of growth, I realize how important my support system is. My family and friends have been my foundation, always encouraging me and helping me stay motivated. I don't have a formal mentor yet, but I look up to my professors and clinical instructors who guide us with real-life experience and knowledge. One of the biggest challenges in our healthcare system here in Spain is the ongoing shortage of nurses. I'm sure you're familiar with it in other countries too. This leads to heavier workloads, more stress, and less time for patients, which affects the quality of care. As students and future nurses, we can help by raising awareness, participating in student-led initiatives, and advocating for better working conditions. For instance, we can support national nursing campaigns, push for policy changes, and promote the value of our profession to the public. Looking into the future, I believe nurses will have an even greater role in leading healthcare reform, not just locally, but globally. We can model global leadership by collaborating with nurses from other countries, embracing technology like telehealth, and staying involved in issues that affect public health, such as pandemics or climate change. Nursing is more than just a career for me. It's a lifelong commitment to care, to advocate, and to lead. Finally, I want to thank my university for the opportunity to share my thoughts today and express my appreciation to the event organizers for the dedication in making this experience possible. It truly means a lot. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you, Abril. Thank you, Dr. Deva. We are finished. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dr. María Jiménez Herrera. Thank you. It's an ongoing, meaningful to me to hear each of you speak. And I have more to say about that in a little while. But first, it is a pleasure to be introducing Dr. Marika Monaco, who is assistant professor in nursing at Italy's University of Palermo, where she teaches research methodology and nursing theory in both bachelor's and master's degree programs. Dr. Monaco.
Thank you, Professor Deva, and good afternoon or good evening, everyone, wherever you are. It's a pleasure for me and for my students to be here with you today. My name is Marika Monaco. I'm basically a nurse because I've been an internal medicine nurse for 8 years. And I work with frail elderly and patients with comorbidities. Now I'm an assistant professor in the nursing field at the University of Palermo, and As you said, I teach research methodology and theory of nursing. My academic focus is centered on human caring. So as for Professor Herrera and Vanessa Vincente, I collaborate with Jim Watson and our institute. Right now, we are validating some tools into the Italian language, and my research is on preparing the next generation of nurses for a more humanized care environment. I work at the public University of Palermo, that is in the southern part of Italy, and we offer one master degree in nursing and midwifery science and two similar but different 3 years of nursing bachelor programs. And I have the privilege of teaching both in the Italian taught and in the English taught bachelor program in nursing. And one of the unique opportunities for our international students of the English taught bachelor program is to share their experience with a group of students from all over the world with different cultures, different healthcare systems, and different needs. And this increases the transcultural footprint of their education. And moreover, they have the opportunity to carry out their internship in an hospital, that is the ISMET hospital in Palermo, that is a high-level American model hospital, and it is also a research center that is part of the UPMC in Pittsburgh. I don't know if you ever read about it. And this collaboration allows our students to experience an international standard of care and work both in a hospital that aims to become a magnet hospital where innovation, excellence, but first of all, human caring are the core of both clinical practice and education. Our students do their internship both in ISMET hospital, but also in a public hospital in Palermo, so they can, let's say, the difference between this different type of hospital. Today, I'm glad to introduce you two of our outstanding students, Alessandro and Nila, who represents the spirit and passion of our international nursing program. Both of them are highly motivated and deeply passionate about the nursing profession. Their dedication to learning and growth is truly inspiring also for us. I'm confident that Alessandro and Nila will provide you with valuable insight into their educational journey and the impact of international exposure of their professional development. I'm glad to introduce, first of all, Alessandro, who is an Italian native, but he speaks English really better than me. And he attends the last of the 3 years of the bachelor program in nursing. So, Alessandro, the word is yours.
All right. Good afternoon or evening, everyone. Thanks to everyone here for this opportunity. My name is Alessandro, and I'm my third and final year, and I'm honored to have the opportunity to share my nursing journey with you all today. A journey with discovery, growth, and change. For me, it all began with my father suggesting this course and encouraged me to pursue this path. And I'm incredibly thankful for him for that guidance. But it's also a bittersweet memory because he passed away. He passed away shortly after I began my studies, and a part of me wishes he was still here to see how far I've come, and still motivates me to continue forward, being there for someone during the most vulnerable moment. Reflecting on my academic journey so far, I see strengths in the accessibility of this course being done in English. However, there's a need for more real-world clinical exposure, and more support from the professors and a stronger focus on interdisciplinary collaboration. These problems require more innovation in how we learn and greater access to mentorship. And another important thing I'd say is humanizing cures, making treatments, healthcare practices, and medical technologies more empathic, personalized, and socially conscious. It is crucial today in a rapidly evolving world of medicine and science. And the process shouldn't be after someone has a degree or a white coat. It needs to start early, right in university. People aren't just cases. Self-reflection has been a crucial part of my journey. And at this point, I feel the need for more mentorship and guidance as I transition from theory to practice. But I am grateful to have nurses who are willing to share their experiences and wisdom. I've gotten support mainly by my family, but some colleagues and even patients who have taught me valuable lessons. The biggest challenge I see in healthcare today is the lack of nurses and lack of material. Many hospitals in Italy continue to face problems without enough personnel or proper equipment. And as a student, I try to promote healthcare to my peers, and I try to advocate for more material enhancing the care for the patient. Looking to the future, I envision nursing as a profession that helps in innovation on a global scale. To model global leadership, we must advocate for our patient, continue to learn and be courageous. Nurses are adaptable, resilient, and compassionate. These qualities will allow us to shape a brighter and healthier future. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my history. I hope it resonates with you and inspires you to continue making a difference, whatever your journey, your nursing journey may take you. Thank you.
Thank you, Alessandro. Thank you so much for your valuable insight. During these 3 years of bachelor degree course, they had the possibility to do, as I said, the internship in different types of Sicilian hospitals. Some like the American ones with more materials and so on, human resources and so on, and the other public hospital and very different in terms of available human and material resources. So thank you. Thank you, Alessandro. Now I would like to introduce you Nila. She's from Palermo too, but her parents come from Sri Lanka. And she's currently in her 2nd year of studies. And she's so kind and gentle. The word is yours, Nila. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Professor Monaco, for giving this opportunity. I would like to share some thoughts today with you all. My name is Nilakshana. I'm a 2nd year nursing student and at the University of Palermo. Since starting my academic journey, I have cultivated a deep passion for this nursing field, so working to enhance both my theoretical understanding and the practical skills, so in order to make a significant impact on the people's lives. And of course, the nursing for me is about being a source of comfort and strength so when people need it most. And during my internship, I learned that even small actions like a kind word or just being there for them can bring comfort and hope to a patient. That's what gives me the purpose and the motivation to continue this nursing journey. And the one strength I have gained from my studies is a good understanding of nursing and how to care for patients. And plus one gap that I have noticed is is applying that knowledge in real life situations, especially when things move quickly, so in a clinical settings. And to bridge this gap, I think more hands-on practice and learning from the experienced nurses can help to move forward, and having more opportunities to connect the theory with practice would make a big difference, so with internships mainly. And at this point in my nursing journey, I need more practical experience personally and the confidence to apply. And my mentor is then, of course, an experienced nurse who has guided me so far, so offering me so many advices and helped me grow both as a person, as a future nurse too. And my support system so includes also my professors, so who encourage my growth, and of course also my family too, because they who provide me emotional support when things gets really tough. And the major challenge in the healthcare today is the pressure on the healthcare workers, so caused by lack of staffs and growing number of patients. This can lead to burnout and negatively impact the quality of care provided to patients. And as a student, I think that we can help by offering them like a help, so like to give like support, reduce workload, especially during their busy schedule, and ensuring we will treat the patient with the dignity and the respect, which can have a big impact on the recovery too. And working on our communication skills so that we can effectively interact with the patients, their families, and staff. So make sure that everyone feels heard and understood, of course. I believe that future of the nursing is full of opportunities. So the nurses are not just only caregivers, but leaders and educators too. So ready to create change and to guide the healthcare with compassion. And nurses can model the global leadership by inspiring others. So by practicing empathy and the lifelong learning, so which will help guide the next generation of the healthcare leaders. And I think one of the most important parts of being a nurse is learning how to see the person, just not just the patient. So humanizing care means treating every patient with dignity, as I said, and the respect. So understanding their emotions, not only their medical conditions. And at university, we often focus on theory and clinical skills, but it's not just it's important to practice the humanized care from the beginning. So when we learn this early, I think it becomes a natural part of how we treat people in the future. So in my experience so far, I have done my internship in the thoracic department unit, radiology, gastroenterology, and the pneumology. So each department really taught me that patients are more than symptoms. So they're just not, they're just people with fears like everyone, and hopes, and each has its own stories. And even small things like listening carefully and offering emotional support, or explaining like procedures that they have to take during the day, or clearly can reduce the stress, of course, and help the patients to heal really well. So I believe the universities should not only teach the technical knowledge, but also give space to develop soft skills, because they are just as important for becoming a good nurse, of course. And this journey as a student is teaching me that small actions can lead to a really big change. So I'm excited to be a part of that change. And as a student, I know I still have a lot to learn, but I'm excited to grow and to make a positive impact in the healthcare. So thank you all for listening and for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts.
Thank you so much, Nila, for sharing your valuable reflection on the importance of shared kindness in this world. And we need to improve our trainship, of course, also if we give you the possibility to do more or less 900 hours per year. So we hope to let you grow in the most kind way. Thank you, Nila, so much. Thank you, Diva, for inviting us.
You're very, very welcome, Marika. And thank you so much to everyone. Now we have a few minutes for questions and answers. And I've been moved by some of your remarks, especially based on what we are working on with the Nightingale Initiative, this very project to bring the voices of nurses and student nurses to the world. I'm remembering that Sarah mentioned that when our cup is empty, we have to fill it. And it seems to me that part of how we fill Nurses Cup is by having our voices, speaking our voices and having them heard. I could say so much more about that, but I really like to hear it from at least one student from each of the countries represented. Sarah, what do you think about this whole notion that public voices is part of the answer to our challenges at this moment? Sarah?
Thank you. Well, here, in this situation, I feel that when nurses' opinions are heard, it sort of gives us the strength to keep going, because if you're not heard, your opinion isn't respected, not only on the place of work, but even in society. If we're not heard, we're not respected, it sort of dulls our motivation to carry on. And without that, it will affect the way that we care for our patients. We become demotivated. We feel like, we can't really carry on. So I think that having our voices heard in the public space, not only at work, is extremely important.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. I'm forgetting how to pronounce your name properly, Isham. But please, just briefly, the nurses' voices. We have amazing platforms now. Amazing. We could be contributing to global health with our wonderful digital capacities. Please share how you see how student nurses who are so capable on social media could be changing our culture with your voices. Isham, or Handi, one of you? Can you be there? Or maybe we pass this on to someone else in another. Zeliha, let me just, I'll ask Vanessa to answer this, and then see if we can see whether Hande and Ekem can join us later. Vanessa, we have a digital world now, and young student nurses have the capacity to share their voices. Can this make a big difference to our problems as nurses?
Yeah, I think like young people is quite used to use technology. So nurses, I mean, for us, it's quite easy to apply technology to the nursing field, and I think nurses can make a big difference in that. For example, I know a lot of influencers who are nurses, and they just promote the knowledge through social networks, and I think it's an easy way to promote nursing and to communicate our needs and also our strengths. So I think it's really, for us, I feel it's a really good issue. So yeah.
Thank you so much. And Isham, can you answer the same question? Did you hear the question? Ikem?
It seems like Echem disconnected, but Francisco has his hand up. I think he wants to answer.
There she's unmuted. Please.
Sorry.
Am I pronouncing your name correctly, Isham?
Sorry, I didn't understand you because my connection is not perfect.
Okay. Is your connection good enough now?
Maybe, yes.
Okay. The question was related to the fact that all of the young people, student nurses today, have a digital capacity and a global perspective that is unprecedented across the world in history. Can your voices be making a difference to the challenges that we face as nurses globally and locally? Did you hear?
May I translate it to her in
okay.
Maybe she may need this. Diyor ki sosyal medya genç hemşirelere seslerini duyurma, hemşirelik sorunlarını hani paylaşma şansı verir mi? Bu konuda ne düşünüyorsunuz?
Ben bu kadar cevap verebileceğimi sanmıyorum. Siz
Hı.
yardım etseniz.
Söyle, tamam söyle.
Şimdi bir daha soruyu tekrarlayabilir misiniz?
Bir dakika ben excuse me, maybe I may, I'm not a student, I'm not a young person, but I may try to reply.
Yes, please.
Yes, as far as I see, yes, social media, especially digital technologies, including social media, is a very powerful method to connect many people. So generation is very competent to use these technologies. I'm sure that the future we are sometimes I think as nurses we are our problems are changing. Sorry, the solutions we cannot find solutions some of our chronic problems in health systems, but I'm sure the future will promise very opportunities. Big differences will happen by technologies, I'm sure.
Thank you so much, Zeliha, and thank you.
Can I just comment
Oh,
on
yes,
this
I
topic,
was
please?
going to ask you, Francisco.
Thank you.
I was
Sorry.
going to ask you next.
Okay, so I will tell a little bit about our work in ENSA, because actually with WHO we have a project, and for the students that are hearing for the future, maybe that's a good opportunity for you to connect with us. It's a project about retention and recruitment of nurses and nursing students to the profession. And one of our first work in this project was to deliver to WHO two technical briefs, one about mentorship and one about social media. So I cannot tell you our findings, as we wrote to WHO, because we will have events and the opportunity to do that in the future. But this social, I just wanted to say that this social media topic, it's really important for us. We are noticing, and we noticed in some other areas than nursing, that whether with cinema or whether in really social media apps, the importance of informing people the right way, and I think these platforms, and as well as personally in social media, we have a significant role to tell people how it is to be a nurse, how it is to be a nursing student, because sometimes, and that's what I wanted to say, we are also responsible to fight for the disinformation and misinformation that goes around social media as well. And sometimes, often, students that want to become nurses don't go to nursing universities because they fear something that they heard, something that they think that won't be for them. So I think it's also part of our job, not only as students but as professors and in our life, to combat the misinformation that is happening, unfortunately, in our virtual world. So that I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Well, yes, thank you indeed, Francisco. I clearly, with your experience already, not just in Portugal but across the world, Europe world, you already know the value of this, and you're modeling it. It's a wonderful opportunity to be learning about how you do this. Also, one more thing before I turn this over to Dr. Tess, Neela, at Palermo. All of this social media, global health, all of these big issues, clearly we need to be sharing across these platforms the modeling that nurses bring to humanity. Neela, would you like to speak to that just briefly? Can you do that? Neela, are you there? Maybe not. How about, Neela, are you there?
Yes.
Thank you. Did you hear the question?
Yes, yes. I think that I believe that social media gives us that powerful space to share the real heart of nursing. And so, as a student nurse, I think we can use these platforms so not only to share the knowledge, but also to the like to model the kindness and the importance of the humanizing care and in a world that is more connected than ever. So our voices can help to shape a healthcare culture that reaches beyond the borders and reminds like many people that behind every patient there is of course a person. So I think basically, I think that just is a way to remind the world that nursing is not just about the skills, but deeply caring, of course, the people.
Indeed, Neela, thank you so much. And I'd like to also acknowledge that many of you are, well, all of you are working in your second language. And we so appreciate that you're sharing your ability to share your English skills with us. Dr. Tess, you are back with us. Would you like to make some closing remarks?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, great. I know that we have some 3 raised hands from Dr.
Oh, yes.
Monaco and Dr. Fernandes and
Okay.
Dr. Herrera. Maybe I'll give them a few secs or a minute to be able to share their
Sure.
perspective, and then we'll do a little bit of a wrap up. Thank you so much, Diva.
Yes. Closed hands, raised hands. Who wants to speak first?
I can talk if you give me permission.
Yes, of course.
Only I want to say one thing, and I think it's important for the students to think a little in ethical things too when we are talking about social media, because for me, social media give a lot of opportunities, but has a lot of risks, and this risk is necessary to think in a little because we need to think what is right and what is wrong when we are using social media. And sometimes young people could be not so thinking in this. And I think the teachers and the professors needs to reflect with the students about that, because even if they do this without not bad thoughts, but maybe not thinking too much, I think we need to introduce in our salons and our seminars this process for thinking what we can do with social media and use it like an instrument and good instrument. Only I want to say this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Dr. Fernandes.
Yes, thank you. I just have one challenge that I would like to leave. We know that never before we had as much interconnectivity as today. The platforms, social media, all the means are there. So we have the channels. And we are so many between nurses and nursing students. We are so many people. So we do have the voice. My challenge is, do we have the message? What is the message that we want to convey? Are we clear about the message? And I think what we really need to work on is this message. What is the message that we want to pass to the world, to the society, to our patients, to our colleagues, to our governments? What is the message? Of course, each of us has an idea. but we know that we have here a group of students. It's a very, I would say, special group, because all these are probably have already some leadership competences, and they have a way, I mean, and they are already pursuing a path of leadership. But my concern, and I'm sure their concern also, is with the mass of students and nurses who are silent. And that is very worrying to me. How do we pass our message? How do we inspire our colleagues to expand this message that we want to pass to the world? So this is my challenge to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I know Dr. Lo Monaco, you have raised your hands earlier on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I
It's
didn't know
okay.
how to raise my hand before, sorry. Just to share with you my opinion on social media, because I teach research methodology. So what I wish is that all the new nurses will use social media to share evidences and not fake news like all the others on internet. Internet is very full of fake news, so I hope that in the future social media will be used like the influencers do right now, no? Spreading information, scientific information based on good quality scientific paper, for instance, and not on what they can find on blog or on internet, on Google. So that's what I say to my students every day, because social media are very important to reach a lots of people, and they're very important to reach young people, because everyone has got his mobile phone every day in his hand, and in 3 minutes we can share something good or something that is not good to share. So I think that they should be careful in using social media.
Thank you very much. That's really very true. It makes me think about the blood-brain barrier. Like we have to learn how to sift. We have to know which one are valid, which are actually really of value. And I know that we have talked a lot, several of our students spoke a lot about nursing, the value of nursing. Now we talk about social media and the value of social media in the learning process, in keeping our public health informed. How do we become the promoter, the positive influencer in that sense? And I know that we're getting short. We only got like 2 more minutes before we hand this over to Diva. One thing that really I encircled in all my little notes here was actually putting back the essence of nursing. Me, and I know one of our speaker did say nurses are the human element of healthcare. And that is echoed in different ways throughout this presentation. And of course, moral sensitivity comes into it. Yes, we are the human element in healthcare, and our voice is as important as anyone else. Thank you so much, and really appreciate. And to our dear students, you will hear from us. We'll send you a survey. So we would want to hear more from you and engage you as we move forward in the Student Nurses Voices Speaker Series. Diva, to you.
Thank you so much, Tess. And thank you. Thank you so much to all of you. It was just so inspiring and so much. I get chills knowing what you will each be doing for the profession of nursing and for nursing's culture in your world, in your nations, in your communities, and globally. And you are the future. And I'm sure Florence Nightingale would have appreciated each and every one of you. Now, Francesco, we can close with Nightingale Declaration for a Healthy World. The Nightingale Declaration for a Healthy World was the credo that founded the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health in the early 2000s. And so we close with this declaration in every session. And when I read it, you can feel free to speak it with me. I also want to say that it is now in 14 languages, and including in Turkish, Spanish, and Portuguese. And perhaps if someone would like to help us have a version in Italian and in Maltese, that would be fantastic as well. So I'm going to be reading this one slide at a time, and if you wish to be reading it with me, feel free to be also speaking this declaration. We, the nurses and concerned citizens of the global community, hereby dedicate ourselves to achieve a healthy world. We declare our willingness to unite in programs of action, to share information and solutions, and to improve health conditions for all humanity, locally, nationally, and globally. We further resolve to adopt personal practices and to implement public policies in our communities and nations, making this goal achievable and inevitable. Beginning today in our own lives, in the life of our nations, and in the world at large. Florence Nightingale, what did she envision for us? In 1893, she said, "We are only on the threshold of nursing. In the future, which I shall not see, for I am old, may a better way be opened. May we hope that when we are all dead and gone, leaders will arise who have been personally experienced in the hard, practical work, the difficulties and the joys of organizing nursing reforms, and who will lead far beyond anything we have done." Back to that last slide first for a minute. Thank you, Francesco. I think that she was in her 70s when she wrote this, and she was hoping for what we have today. And she would be so honored and pleased by each of you and what you are doing to make her vision a reality. Next slide. Please join us with your voice with the Nightingale Initiative for Global Health and the Nightingale Declaration for a Healthy World. We'll be using this in our emerging projects in the future. Also to say that on May 13th, the day after Nightingale's 205th birthday, we will have a student nurses' voices from Northern Europe, which promises to be similar to this project this day. And so fantastic. You're welcome to be joining us and listening to more of your student colleagues. Thanks again to everyone. We would love to have had more time. Each of you are making a wonderful contribution to your communities, to your nations, and to your world. So appreciate your participation and collaboration with us. Francesco?
Thank you so much. And yeah, I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody who took the time to join us today. Those presentations were great. It was fantastic to hear all your perspectives. And thank you, of course, to Deva and Tess for helping organize the session. And thank you, of course, to everyone in the audience for joining us. And just as a reminder, the session is being recorded and is up on our YouTube channel. If anybody would like to revisit it or share it with anyone who wasn't able to make it today. And as Diva mentioned, our next session is on May 13th, so we hope to see you all there. Thank you so much.